Uh-huh. All right. There it is. There it is, man. I'm looking at TTH 211, man. It's funny. I wrote it, I scribbled it kind of fast, so it looks a little sloppy up there. It's kind of sloppy up there, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But I just walked over here, feeling a little back on what you call this, man? Back on campus. I've been getting all these multiple rooms, if you will. So I've been getting multiple different rooms utilized. Come to find out, this drink right here is the oh shit, I forgot already. Brown sugar maple or something like that. Brown sugar maple. I don't even know, but I've been obsessing over Americanos so much. I've been, drinking all the Americanos all the time. Yeah, it got to a point where I was like, you know what, man? I keep drinking that shit, and then I be having to go to sleep at like 2 a.m. Knowing I got to wake up around 7. I got to consistently wake up around 7, so I'm only getting anywhere from 4 to 5 hours of sleep because I'm constantly waking up throughout the night. But here we are, man. Got this brown sugar maple. I'm gonna keep this off to the side right here. And I say make sure my visuals is good. I actually found like a good little spot, prop up the camera. So everything's working out, man. Everything's more or less good. Just like a little normal check in here. Oh, also, bam, I had to pull out the black rhino. In case you didn't know. For those back in the 2000s, used to wear that Echo Unlimited. This is actually a hand-me-down shirt. A little hand-me-down shirt. I remember I used to have these clothes on the hanger at the old house, and all these clothes on the hanger were hand-me-downs. Because I kept asking my parents, I was like, I just want to have fresh clothes. I just want my own new clothes for the school year. I remember my dad, we were driving with my uncle, because my uncle and my aunt were like, they opened a new outlet store. It was like a mall outlet store, but it was by I forget exactly. This might have been the early Kent and Auburn days. If it wasn't that, it was somewhere up north, but I'm pretty sure it was down there. Excuse me. We went over there. We're just going to different stores. We're buying stuff. I'm just buying all these different polos, striped polos, regular polos, like not the actual brand of polo, but just like a button collared shirt or whatever, short sleeve kind of thing. So I was just buying a whole bunch of those just for school, and I just that was what it was back in when I went to middle school, 2005. And so anyway, with these hand me downs here, you know, this is my brother's stuff when he was in middle school. So I've been more or less the same height since middle school. But my brother, he got wider. So I pretty much am wearing his stuff from back then. And back then, you got to think about it. 2000s, everybody's wearing baggy clothes. So to this was either like fitted to him, if not like baggy, because he was kind of always a little more stockier than I was. But yeah, man, this is from that era. I just was going through the closet. I realized I never, from all the hand me down stuff I had and all the stuff that I had bought, whether it was at Bosswear or the next place over, like a lot of those pieces of clothing, those articles of clothing, I what do you call this? I basically, I don't know where they went. Some of them I'm not sure where they went. I think there's a closet that we have. Either they're still in there, I sent them in a box, put them in a box, and sent that box to the Philippines. So it's one or the other. But this here is just one of those old gems that I kind of pulled out, which is kind of cool. It surprised me a little bit. I found this right here. My bad. I got to sit there and watch the. I'm always paying attention to my surroundings here. Give me a second. Low key, man. I might have to start using this. You got a larger microphone that I can use, and it's funny because as of today, well, technically as of yesterday or the day before, I want to say yesterday. As of yesterday, shout out to my guy Melon, because he left a comment. He said it'd be nice if you could have some of this in the background while you're doing some of these. But I pre-record so much. Also to have access to like all of this space, it's not a what do you call this? I'm not saying I can't bring other people here, but it's a little trickier when other people don't have the badge access that I do in order to enter this space. So here we are right here. You know what I mean? Making it happen, doing what I got to do over here, over in this section. Trying to think what else is on the menu, man. I'm really trying to think. I really enjoyed, I don't know, if you're seeing this video, hopefully you've seen the other two before it. I just want to put that out there because that was episode 209 and 210. This right here is 211. the reason why I'm asking, what I'm asking for, excuse me, is if you guys enjoyed that one, the setting where I'm kind of just sitting down, let me know, and I could try to set it up where I'm standing up a little more often in that space. If not, I got to find a different, room because, like I said, I was trying out different things. That particular room, I have the schedule out. It's a little interesting, so I just thought to myself like, well, if I can schedule this room out, it has an ambiance for about 25 to 30 people within there. I was like, if I can schedule that out, let's just see how that feels. And then like they have like it's like an L-shaped window, so it's like all the windows are right here and all the windows are in front. So I had a lot of good natural lighting, as much as I did have lighting right above me. So the whole point that I'm making is that I had to. It was so bright that day yesterday. I had to close the There's like two sets of blinds. I just closed the ones you put down so you can get a little bit of light still, and you can still see outside, but they can't see you inside. So I just kind of pulled that down. And if that's like I said, because I had to sit down because the button up I had was missing buttons. So I was like, I didn't want to stand around, the thing waving like a cape. I was looking like a cholo low key. I'm not a cholo at all, so I didn't want to be disrespectful or come across as the wrong way, you know. But the whole point I'm making is like, if you guys like that setting, if you think it was decent, you just let me know. You know what I'm saying? If you check those videos out, or if you're just now finding this one, I'm not really sure. But before anything, I always want to kind of just speak a little bit, just speak a little freely. Obviously, just have moments like this where I kind of just boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever I got to say out loud. Um, Listen, man. I always talk about this every episode, every beginning. Feel free to skip through it if you need to, but I want to talk about it all the time because I just want to give people a friendly reminder. Also, you never know who's driving in for the first time, if not the second time, whatever. But check this out, man. I'm trying to introduce people to this concept. I'm calling it the university mindset. All right. I call it the university mindset because, quite simply, everyone has this struggle within themselves that they're not sure what their value is. A lot of people don't understand their value, and you got to understand this, right? You understand already the degrees of things in your life that you have went through. Different degrees of things, the different thresholds of things you're willing to handle and willing to continue going through. You understand? Even the degree of bullshit that you're willing to deal with. You understand it. You personally understand it, whether you choose to continue tolerating it or not, whether you choose to confront it or not. You understand? And therefore you can certify yourself as a human being. The reason why I say it like this is because a lot of times people will go to colleges or go to universities, vocational institutes, technical colleges, community colleges, all the et ceteras, right? But go to certain schoolings to simply become a little more certified or to get a specific degree. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I always say this, if you want to become a surgeon, you can't just go out in the world and just say that you're a surgeon. You got to sit there and show and prove it. You got to have a resume, and you got to have other people who do surgical things, if not surgeons themselves, who have the experience to validate you and your experience and validate you within the actual operating room. You understand? Because you wouldn't want to be under the knife. You wouldn't want to be under anesthesia, and then someone who just claimed that they were a surgeon is just working on your body, and then you end up dying or you end up getting stitched the wrong way. People leave instruments inside of you. Simple stuff like that. But there's also certified surgeons that do that to people anyway, too. People with years of experience. But hey, man, what am I gonna say to someone who's sitting there for like 3 to 4 hours? Like, stuff like that happens. It just sucks that you have to reopen someone up. You got to give them that procedure for free. You got to. That's a what do you call this? I don't even know what the word is. Malpractice. Excuse me. That's a malpractice. When I got this coffee, it wasn't that hot, and now it's like really not that hot. Um, but yeah, university mindset is just understanding within yourself, man. Understanding within yourself the certifications of you as a human being, the certifications of you as an individual. Certifying yourself and just having a value of self within yourself, about yourself, based off of the degrees of things in your life that you have survived, handled, withstood, and possibly even will no longer tolerate. Sometimes things will happen to you, and it's just like, man, I've sat there, I've had conversations with people one on one. I've sat there, I've had, whether it's a confrontation or not, I want to be confrontational about if this is someone's nature. Then, if that my thing is, if that's someone's nature and they're starting to reveal it to me, I just leave them alone. I don't really deal with them like that. Because it's like you can't act like you and I haven't had a conversation, but you want to sit there and test things. You know what I'm saying? People will test shit on you like you're your girlfriend or something. It's just like, yo, we're not even that deep, but you're doing some funny shit towards me. So I just personally don't deal with people like that. But you realize a lot of people do this, man, and a lot of it's like it's stemming from the age and the generation that we're in. The generation that we're in now, it's like people will just say anything. People will just rage bait people just to see how much emotional reaction we can get out of you before an action needs to be taken. People just want to rage bait all the time and act like there isn't any consequences. It's just like a normal conversation and banter. You understand? People just fuck with each other. I understand, but it's just like, hey man, if you got brothers and friends, like you fuck with each other because you guys are real comfortable with each other. You guys are actual friends. That's a difference. But in this regard, what I'm trying to say is like people are just sitting here rage baiting each other, trying to get the worst example, the worst reaction, and the worst emotional what's it called, worst emotional perception sometimes out of somebody. And it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. So you're going to deal with that a lot. um but like I say, man, sometimes that shit happens towards me or in my direction or just within my vicinity, like little friends like that. They'll just sit there. I realize like sometimes I can't tell if they're just trying to test the waters with me or some weird shit. And I sit there, I'm like, I don't even play with that shit. It's just like the other day I had a friend, he brought up somebody's name, and I told him clearly I ain't fucking with bro, but he had the nerve to say something about like, what if we hung out, blah blah blah. He's kind of, I can tell he's kind of trying to bring us all together. But if I'm saying I ain't fucking with nobody, I'm not fucking with them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to deal with that person. I don't even want to be spoken about necessarily within the same breath as them, unless it's some form of memory. It's a form of memory, like, oh yeah, I remember me and him had that conversation. I said blah blah blah. But I don't want people to think like I really care about these people. Like I'm gonna go out my way to say what's up to them. I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And some of these people actually speak highly of me, but some people have like they're a little too corny and they cross a certain line where I'm like, I'm not even dealing with them. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not really dealing with that shit right now because we got shit to do. We got shit to move on. I'm in my certain situation. I'm in my certain conditions, and I'm not where I like to be in life. So why am I going to waste time trying to sit there and wrestle with somebody and waste energy? I'm gonna be sitting here mentally wrestling with somebody and possibly having to physically have an altercation with somebody when I'm sitting here already trying to climb out of my situation and do the best I can. All I'm doing is healing and elevating. I'm constantly healing and elevating, healing, training, elevating, healing, training, elevating, getting stronger, getting smarter, getting sharper, getting wiser. You know what time it is, man. You know what time it is, man. Listen, man, let's get to the topics right here. University mindset, bruh. Keep that in mind, all right? I want you guys to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind that you deserve to certify yourself the value of who you are as an individual and who you are as a human being. I don't want you to think about anything. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into the topics here because like I said, every episode here is about different topics. About sometimes it's people pulling you back, sometimes it's you pulling yourself back, but really it's just you really trying to take an examination of yourself and asking yourself, what is it about me that actually makes me valuable? What do I know the best? And sometimes what you know the best comes from nurture and not nature. Sometimes you were nurtured in a very negative way. You know what I'm saying? You were nurtured in a very dysfunctional way rather than nature taking its course and people naturally having an unconditional love for you as they were raising you. Sometimes a lot of households, we don't really have that. And it's time for you to see yourself. I don't know what the correct terminology would be here. I don't want to say see yourself as a house necessarily, but see yourself as a bastion or a fortress of things that keep the bullshit away. And then you just sit there and preserve what it is that's necessary. You preserve the essential innocence within yourself and you nurture it. Now you start nurturing yourself, start tapping into the nature of yourself, little things like that. You know what I'm saying? Avoiding chaos as much as necessary, but sometimes because I'm going from based off experience, man. I bask in chaos a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was telling somebody at the job the other day, bro. I was like, I was so used to this chaos shit that the more I started to talk to people, the more I started to see outside of my own city and the places I was used to in my own city. I realized, like, man, I started going to different neighborhoods. I started going to different places. I'd be sitting there, leaving my laptop out on a table, going to the bathroom, coming back. Just a little simple stuff. I know people will pack their shit up, come go to the bathroom, go there and back. It's the smartest thing to do. Always have all your shit with you when you're going. I don't care if you're gone for 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Always take your shit with you. That's the way you should treat your kids. But I be in some places where the community has enough trust and accountability where we look at each other and it's like, don't touch his shit, don't fuck with his shit, don't play. I don't care if that person is a piece of shit. Leave their stuff alone. We don't conduct ourselves that way. And I've been in those spaces sometimes where it's like it's both solid but also just simply human being. You know what I'm saying? Just humane, just fucking humane behavior. And it's rare. It's really rare. Excuse me, man. Let me get some coffee. Yeah. One thing too is like in the past, you know what I'm saying, videos. Actually, let me do this. Move the mic out. Clip back in. All right, here we go. Past couple of videos, whether I was here, it was either here or last week. I can't. No, it was like last week. I was feeling, I was getting over a sickness that I kind of went through earlier in that week. It's really interesting how that worked out because when that happened, I was, you know, a little confused. I was like, it's affecting my nasal passage and speech here. And it was kind of to the point where I was like, you know, I realized I'm able to speak better when I blow my nose, because if I don't blow my nose, some of the extra excess, what do you say, this phlegm and mucus will kind of go through the passage and then around towards like the mouth and throat area. You know, pause on that. A little wild right there, but hopefully that makes sense. You know, because that should be connected. The body's connected that way. Sometimes you clear out one section and it kind of helps the other side. You know what I'm saying? You clear out inflammation in one area, it helps out the other side. I mean, simply clearing out soreness on one side of your body will help the other side, because sometimes the other side is overcompensating, you know, little things like that. I want to speak on this here. This is the topic at hand. Obviously, it's university mindset every day, but these are like the main topics that I kind of like had flushed out already, whether it's on the phone or not. Sometimes I have epiphanies at night, take a quick note. I might write a little small thing and expound on it as we go along. But we'll see. However long the episode takes is however long it takes, man. Sometimes I might just want to sit there and riff raff for a little bit. But check this out, man. I was thinking about this the other day, man. But I thought about this like a couple years ago. This is an old note. All I wrote was old heads talking about having it or when they had it. Quite simply, old heads talking about having it or when they had it. Check this out, man. I use the word old head. I don't come from a disrespectful place when I say it. You know, sometimes it's just like just an old head, man. It's, you know, it's just an older gentleman. That's all it is. It's just an older individual. It's just an elder, if you will. But it's hard to really say people are elders because, you know, they say respect your elders, but you know, this particular elder didn't necessarily raise me. That's not to say I'm gonna disrespect the older generation, but it's like they say, hey, respect your elders. It's like, man, you ain't even raised me. You understand? This person didn't raise me. So you want me to respect this person, this old person that thinks that they deserve respect, but they're being disrespectful? That's when I start drawing the line. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what I'm talking about here. You know, one of the craziest things, I want to say it was Bun B from UGK. Bun B from UGK. He said, man, he said, I'm not even mad that these what's it called? These young boys don't even respect the old heads or the OGs. I'm not even mad at that. I was like, what you mean? He said, you gotta think, man. Sometimes, like, you know, the OGs and the old heads was sitting there drugging up their moms, sometimes fucking them. You know what I'm saying? They was over here destroying the community and acting like they deserve respect because they had all the jewels and the cars and shit. Some of these guys weren't responsible. You know, it's gonna sound crazy. Responsible drug dealers are responsible street people. They didn't feel a responsibility to the community. A lot of people just felt the need to drug it up, fuck people's lives and households up just for the dollar, just to represent and be themselves. They made it all about themselves rather than being about, you know, representation of who they could be for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about a fiend, you know what I'm saying, like it or not, well, let me get some. Unfortunately, the thing about a fiend is like, if they ain't getting it from you, they getting it from somebody else. You know, and that's the street logic. Sometimes is like, why can't the money come to you then? If that's the case, why can't you win this bidding war? You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that, you know, more or less you, the next person, maybe the other person across the other side of town, etc., a couple blocks down, even y'all might have the same product more or less. You got the same shit the motherfucker can get high on off of the same price. You might cook it a little differently, etc. You know, I don't, like I said, I ain't never seen drugs in my life. I tell this all the time. I never seen drugs in my life. The only time I might have seen it, I had a friend of mine. He had a bag, had some white powder. He put his key in it, and then he started sniffing it. Now, and he's like, man, he's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, man. That's just what I do, man. Don't judge me. I say, I don't remember. I said something to the effect of, I don't judge you, but you know, just be careful. You know, just take care of yourself. That's all. I was just looking out for him and shit. But I also, I thought about, I was like, I feel like the more I'm talking, I'm blowing his high, but that's just my friend. So I was just a little confused, man. Shout out to Boom. I ain't gonna say her name. I was gonna say her name, huh? You know what I'm talking about, bro? That's my guy. That's my guy, man. I've known him, damn, what, since like high school or something. That's my guy. But I hope he's doing all right, man. I know he goes through a lot of mental stress, so it's just one of the things. So he just kind of needed that bump of coke or whatever as an upper. So the thing is, I don't really know if he was joking around, to be honest with you, because like I said, I haven't seen drugs enough time in my life. Matter of fact, I haven't seen them at all. The only drugs I've seen is like prescription drugs. Those are the only drugs I've ever seen is prescription drugs. Realistically, because I would fill the pill boxes for my mom. You know what I'm saying? I would make sure I'd space them out for the correct time of day, and then there's a certain amount of times throughout the week type shit. I just made sure everything was spaced out correctly, and then like in a good rhythm, if you will. So that's the only stuff. But I've never really seen drugs in my life. Like I said, that's the only time I've probably seen it because I just seen my friend do that. And again, I don't know if he was playing around. That could have just been some sugar, some salt, or some weird shit. I don't fucking know how that shit works. I don't know. But the whole point I'm making is, I spend enough time around people who were doing street shit and keeping me away from it. And they were just, that's the logic sometimes, man. If a fiend ain't getting it from you, they're going to get it from somebody else. So you can sit there and try to be righteous about it and tell them to go away. But, you gotta be mindful. It's like the extra $20 to $50 you skimped out on that day was, okay, you can sit there and say, I didn't do that because the bitch was pregnant. The bitch that was trying to get high was pregnant. And this fucking crackhead over here, this dude, he coming around a little too much. He over here trying to sell off fucking boom boxes and other people's stereos and weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Just people trying to flip all type of weird shit, going up, sneaking up in people's yards trying to sell tires and shit. It's like, man, we don't want the fucking tires, bro. Give me the money. Go sell the tire, then go give me the money. Fuck this shit. I don't want to be responsible for the item. Get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying? People do all type of shit just to get high, man. People do all type of shit to get high. So that's the whole thing. Bun B had said that. He said something about he understood because it's like you got to think people my generation and younger, we don't have too much of I'm born in 93, but we don't have too many, when you're born in the 90s, especially like early mid 90s, you start to see the world a little differently. Like you have a respect for certain OGs, certain people. I call them an OG because they're actually respectable people, and they kept me away and they kept me at the line of fire of certain things that was going on. You know what I'm saying? All the whoop hop, etc. They kept me away from this shit. Shit was popping off. They're like, man, I know that was your friend too, that might have died, passed away, etc. But that ain't you. You weren't doing what he was doing in the first place. And the guy who passed away would even tell you that he was proud of you for staying away from the streets and doing some boxing shit, doing some music shit, doing some writing shit. You know what I'm saying? People was always proud of me. They was out there deep out there, and they was always proud of me doing some other shit, even though I wasn't necessarily financially successful from those activities. It's the fact that I was having an activity and a practice away from negative shit. You know what I mean? So these are people that I respected as OGs, and some of my friends that like pretty much died young, or some kids that I knew that died young. They could have been OGs because they were on that same type of time, but they just died early. They got caught up, or they got basically. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So a lot of times, like I don't just dub everyone an OG. I don't dub just anyone an OG. I don't give a fuck about your street cred. I'm not supposed to care because I'm not supposed to know. You understand? You got some old heads walking around here like trying to remind you, like, yeah, I used to do this, that, and the third. I used to have this, that, and the third, and that's why you should respect them. But it's like, motherfucker, I would have respected you either way, just as a simple human being, because I exercise this university mindset. I find the value within myself as a human being. Little things that I've done, the little things I've survived and went through, just as a personal human being within my specific city, region of the country, etc. You know what I mean? Simply going through that stuff and just recognizing it within other individuals, whether they're famous or not. A lot of OGs, a lot of fake OGs will sit there and do that talk to you. They'll sit there and try to have that talk to you like, I used to do this, then, and third. Ask about me over here. Ask about me over here. It's like, I ain't got time. Nobody's going out their way to ask people about shit. You asking somebody who's uncertified to ask certified people about how certified you are. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. You an uncertified dude, but you want to know shit. And that's why I want you to go ask these other certified guys. It's like if I'm uncertified, then I shouldn't even be talking with these people. I shouldn't even be next to these people that are certified. Then people go out their way to come talk to me and tell me to stay out the way. Then people go out the way. I'm gonna tell you something, man. In middle school, right? It was a time period we moved. So we were still living off Cherry. And then we moved down the hill. We were living off Cherry up until about late 06. So that was like the start of 7th grade, and I had to tell my Spanish teacher, I had to tell everybody, I was like, listen, we're changing houses, so the phone number is going to change, the address is going to change. I'll let you know when that happens, so you guys can update the syllabus or whatever the fuck. And they're like, all right, cool, thank you. So then I'm like, we move in '06, so like '06, late '06 and early '07, we're at the new spot. We're over here, man. Let me think about this for a second. Man, my bad. I'm over here checking stuff out. I also had a brain fart, low key. I had a brain fart, low key. Man, we moved to the new spot, right? Check this out, man. Between the times of like '05, '06, I was already boxing. Now '06, '07, I'm like a year deep in boxing. But then I started taking the cardio a little more seriously. I had to remember. I actually, I ain't gonna lie, I paused the recording just to remember what I was trying to say. So I'm over here taking the boxing a little more seriously. And it's like, all right, we're starting to really do amateurs. I got to get my cardio up to the maximum because I always hated running. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight all day, but I hated running. You know what I'm saying? I hated cardio. I was like, let me just go head up. But sometimes you need that just to keep sticking and moving and dodging and shit. Keep the body moving, you know what I'm saying? I used to set my alarm for 4 o'clock. Sometimes 4 o'clock, 4:30. Sometimes I start ringing at 4. I let it buzz for a little bit because I knew I was like, you got to get about by 4:30, but start getting that alarm going by 4. Sometimes I'd be up at 4. Sometimes I'd be ready to go by 4:30. Set the alarm, 4 o'clock, 4:30. You know what I'm saying? Put on my fucking running jacket. You know what I'm saying? Just like some sweatpants. You got a spare sweatpants or whatever. I had like 2 of them that I was running all the time, and I had all these pairs of socks and shit. 4 o'clock, 4:30. Like I said, we moved down the hill. We moved down the hill. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, here we go. Move down the hill. I'm gonna just start running uphill. You know what I'm saying? It's about 3 blocks. Then it's, it gets a little flat. Then it's another 3 blocks, 4 blocks. It just goes uphill. Sometimes I hit the little small cut, the small incline. Then I go uphill. Sometimes I go the other way. Then I go uphill. I live at the bottom of the hill, so I can only go up. That's the way I start my day. I go up the hill. If it ain't that, then I gotta go slight incline and then cut that right, and then just start going up. The whole point I'm saying is this, man. I used to try different routes because I'd be in my neighborhood. I'd be doing different routes. Sometimes I'm in the back street. A lot of times people just stay on the main street because it's gonna be a little more lights, a little more traffic. Just in case someone so happened. You don't want to be running in the back streets. People fucking with you and shit. And it's like the people in the back streets weren't even fucking with me like that. They just saw me running and shit. You gotta think about this, right? Talk about real OG shit. I used to see these motherfuckers. I don't even know who they were. Some of them were close to my age. Some of them were a little older. I used to go. I'd run over to Cherry. Run over to Cherry Street. I started cutting the right. You know what I'm saying? Start going up the hill. I start going up the hill. Before I get up the hill, you got the Arco and the AMPM, the gas station right there. I'm looking at that shit. I'm just running. I look to my left. Look to my left. You know how it is in the hood. Every time you see somebody make eye contact, you just nod your head. They just whoop. You know what I'm saying? See a dude nod my head. He looks at me, nods his head. I just see them people every morning. Them motherfuckers is out there just posted up hustling. Every morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? They just at the same gas station all day hustling. They see me doing my workout and they're like, okay. And then they're just doing their thing. Everybody out here doing their thing early in the morning. I run up my main street. That main street start crossing towards Broadway. Broadway starts intersecting. We're going down Madison or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Madison Pine, whatever the fuck street that was. We going down that bitch. I'm just like, well, let me start picking it up because, I had the little iPod attached and I had the little clip-on headphones and shit. I'm running with this shit. It might have been Linkin Park. I swear to God, it was like Linkin Park playing. It's either that or Spit Your Game by Biggie. Biggie Duets. Spit Your Game is one of them songs. It just had me amped up. I'm just running. And all of a sudden I'm running. I'm like, I go up. I start going in this little section. That's like past my neighborhood now. All of a sudden a cop car is zooming right on the side of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, doing my thing. Cop car right here. I'm just looking at him like, And I look to the left like, what the fuck? I just keep like running. And he's just watching me. And he's like looking me up and down and all this shit. He's trying to see if I'm running with something. I'm like, I'm just looking at him jogging. I was like, I don't know if I should be funny and hit him with the, you know what I'm saying? This is like I said, this is '07. I don't know if I should hit him with this. Like, what am I doing? I'm just jogging in the morning. I'm a young man jogging in the morning. So he at some point he looks at me, he just drives off. Cause I'm basically like wearing all black, so I look kind of crazy. But he's just trying to figure out what's going on. Fast forward, man. Matter of fact, same time era, man. I had this one kid we used to box with this dude. I tell the story all the time. Used to box with this dude. You know what I'm saying? And he seemed like a little crash out kid. He was just out in the area a lot. He was doing all type of crazy shit. He's really good at breaking out of jail. It's kind of funny. He was really good at breaking out of juvenile detention and the psych ward at the hospital. He was really good at doing both, man. And he happened to be boxing with us, man. He's really in the trenches in the ring with us, man. So he's putting in work. He trained all the time. People used to beat up on him. He would get his get back. He would start swinging on people. He started getting stronger. He started getting better. He just stayed sharp. He took his teachings and took himself to another level, man. Because a lot of people will sit there and tell you like, the motherfucker was straight retarded or whatever, and he might have been. I'm gonna be honest with you, he might have been. But that's beside the point, man. This dude really elevated himself during that time period because all of us were doing that for each other. Check this out, man. We used to, like I said, I used to go to his house. His grandma's like, "You call me grandma too." I'm like, "Cool." So we were deep like that. I can't say I'm really his friend like that because the more I look back at certain things, you know, it really didn't add up in my benefit. It was more for his. So I don't know if I necessarily consider him my friend, but it would never be no love lost. I would never not say hi to him, if that makes sense. His brothers, man, sometimes they be coming in and out the house, man. The motherfuckers big as shit. Pause. They swole. You know what I mean? He used to walk around the neighborhood. One of his brothers used to walk around with a shirt off, just swole, like he fresh out the pen. But he just be out there. He's about my height, maybe a little shorter, but he just hella stocky. He'd be out there like, "What's going on?" Bop. You know what I'm saying? We just shaking hands right at the corner store, just moving on about our day. And we used to see him all the time. He said, y'all going to the gym today? Or y'all just get back from the gym today? What you guys getting into right now? You going to the library? All right, go use the internet, man. All right, that's cool, man. Take him to the library. Use the internet. He would just be saying, like, he would just find out we're doing positive shit or just some shit that wasn't street related. And he'd be pointing at his little brother. He'd be like, "Man, you better stay the fuck out of trouble, man. Go hang out with Junior, man. Go, blah, blah, blah. All that shit. Just positive shit. Just positive shit. Just positive shit." You know what I'm saying? This is some guy that I didn't, I would just see him outside. I didn't know he was deep in some shit. I didn't really know. People will tell you like, "Yeah, he really outside." I'm like, I don't even know. I don't see that, man. He just talks to us really nicely. He just talks to us like a big brother, if you will. He just talks to us like that. So I don't really know. And then this dude goes, so that was like what, '07 ish, '06. And that was like '07. I want to say like fast forward 2015 or something. 2015, I got this job at the hospital. The job is from 5 to 1:30. Job is from 5 to 1:30. I'm like, damn, let me look up the bus schedule. Buses don't run. So I'm like, damn, buses don't run before 5. So I got to just walk to work. Take me about 20, 30 minutes just to get up the hill and then get down and up a hill again. So you go up a hill, go down the hill and up a hill again just to get to the hospital. I used to walk the same back streets. I used to walk in the back streets. Ain't no traffic. It's a lot faster. Walk them back streets, just a straight shot to the hospital. I'm just like, boom, let me get over there. Start walking up the hill. Wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock. Get over there early. Sometimes clock in early, or not clock in early, but just post up, wait up early, and then I clock in, right? Because that's what the older gentleman would do at the job. We walk in the same back street I've been on my whole life. Because I knew all the paths to get there. Sometimes walk through the college campuses, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I'm just walking to there. I see the homie's older brother again, man. Same thing, walking past the same corner where the house would be at. He just was like, "Yep, early morning hustling." Bop. You know what I'm saying? We shook hands and said we went about the day. He said, "Yep, early morning hustling." He just bop. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Every time I'm doing something, it don't matter if I was going to the gym. It didn't matter if I was going to the library using the internet. You understand? It didn't matter if I was going to work. 7 to 8 years later down the line, dude was still in the neighborhood, still doing his thing earlier in the morning. You know how that go. He doing his thing earlier in the morning. He see me doing my thing. He always congratulated me, said what's up when I was doing my thing. And I ain't seen him in a while. I feel like if I see him again, I won't recognize him because he probably got all gray hairs. He probably got the gray braids in, probably got the gray beard and shit. I don't even fucking know. But he probably still walking around stocky. I just ain't seen him in a minute because everything is so gentrified. So I ain't really seen dude's family in a while. But I still be around the area. I just ain't seen him. And sometimes I just want to see him and just thank him if anything. You know what I'm saying? Just thank him for being a solid OG because a lot of people really ain't like that. You don't have a lot of people like that, man. Shout out to my guy. Man, they know who they are. I can't even really say their names because I'm trying to make it hot, but it's like we used to walk down the street. Motherfuckers about 4 or 5 years older than me. Just sit there with the whole gang of people that's ready to swing and just start stealing on motherfuckers all day. You know what I'm saying? Just getting off. Motherfuckers used to get stolen all day. And my guy, he's the knockout king in the neighborhood. This dude's a fucking knockout king. And he always used to say shit like, I don't want no parts of that. Because I'd always say, I want to spar with you, man. I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? You got the opportunity to knock me out. He's like, nah, I don't want no parts of that. I seen you at your exhibition matches. I don't want that. And I was like, man, what the fuck? Because my thing is, if I know you can defeat me, I know you could probably whip my ass. I want to fight you. I'm one of those type of people. You know what I'm saying? I like going head up. So it's just like, if I know you can really fuck me up, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I wish Bruce Lee was still alive. So, like, I'd spar with him just so I can get my ass whooped. And I would kind of learn from there. That's the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's get to it, man. Let me see. I'm going to learn the hard way type shit. Pause. So, my whole thing is like this. My whole thing is like this, man. Dude was a knockout king, man. But every time he'd walk around with his crew, you know what I'm saying? His crew just be, waiting for, a little situation. And he would shake hands with me and my brother every now and again. And he'd be with his crew like, hey, man, don't fight with this dude, man. He would say certain things like, "Oh, you still boxing?" He would just ask questions like, "You still boxing?" Damn, man, hey, nobody fuck with this dude, man. He'll fuck y'all up, man. He's just trying to remind people like these brothers are here, will fuck y'all up, man. Because we was in the gym like that, you know what I'm saying? If we wasn't in the boxing gym for an hour or 2 hours, we was over at my cousin had she worked at a gym. It was kind of out the way. Nobody knew about it because it was attached to this business building where all these people who wear suits would be at. And then she would just let us come and hang out for free. She would just give us a little guest passes or whatever the fuck. She would just sign us in, and then we would just be in there working out. So we in the weight gym, we bringing our equipment to the weight gym, we bringing it to the, you know what I'm saying, all the etc. gyms, and we just training and training all day, fucking, you know what I'm saying. For 2.5 years of my life, I was doing that shit deep, 24/7, damn near 7 days a week type shit, you know. So when you talk about OGs, it's like when I talk about OGs, man, I talk about my brother, man. I don't think he from no set or nothing. I don't think so. But it's like him, you know what I'm saying? His homie, the knockout king, you know what I'm saying? They know who the fuck they are. The homie's older brother, you know what I'm saying? That's like at least three I can really name. And then like who else we got? Who else we got around the way, man? Gotta think about that for a second, man. There's a couple of people that's like they're really OGs, but I wouldn't consider them mine because they was on some crash out energy. They was on some fuck time as well, you know what I'm saying? Some fuck shit. But a lot of people are like that. But it's like this dude right here, man. He's a good dude. He's a solid guy. Every time I see him, I check in with him. But I can't really consider him OG like that. He's somebody's OG. He just ain't mine. So you got people like that around the way. But I say in my particular life, I don't really call people OG like that. I wouldn't necessarily consider them that because they just weren't simply looking out for me. I just have a different view of it. So a lot of times when like I say, man, you be tapping in with the old heads and they're sitting there talking about stuff. They're constantly telling you about having it or back when they had it, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And it's just like there's a reason you ain't got it no more. Or there's a reason why you were conducting yourself continuously in the way you were doing things and you're not doing too well right now. You understand? Some people did their community so dirty that in the long run, when it was time for them to like really take care of themselves, nobody was looking out for them. Nobody was looking at them like, you know what, man, I'm gonna look out for this dude because they weren't solid people. They was about themselves and about the money only. They missed the whole picture. They missed the whole picture of like making it about the crew, making it about the community. Some people were just ruling based off of not even fear, but just just getting it. Because a lot of people who are ruling based off of fear, they get a lot of love still to this day. They get a lot of love and respect to this day. They're not even on that type of time of chaos anymore, but people are just still in fear of the possibility of that chaos, and therefore they just have a natural respect for them. That's what happens when you rule based off of fear and you try to like sit there and intimidate people or set the tone with shit. So it's like when I set the tone with people, when I'm kind of checking people, I'm just letting them know, like, hey, man, I'm just going to cut you off. We're not going to fight, but I'm just going to cut you off. I want to make it clear right now. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't really get the picture. But I think about that sometimes with these OGs, man, these so-called OGs. People will sit there and try to validate themselves and tell you who the fuck they are. And it's like, they really ain't necessary. Just be who you are. And a lot of that will show down the long run. Just continuously be who you are. The people who need to value you will continue to value you. You understand? A lot of people don't understand that. I'm not trying to tell people or teach people how to be an OG because I'm not one. I would never put myself in that bracket. You got to understand, a lot of the OG shit is, it's synonymous with being a real one. And you know what they say about real motherfuckers, man? Real motherfuckers is either dead or in jail. So my thing is, if you over here consider me real, Either you're wishing two things on me. You're either wishing that I'm dead or in jail. So don't ever wish no real shit on me. Fuck that shit, bro. Don't ever say I'm a real one. I really exist. I'm a real human being. That's about it. But don't associate me with no real OG. No, fuck all that. I don't even want to be around that shit. Because like I said, a lot of them people, they've either went through jail a couple of times or they're a little dead inside, if not dead already. I know some people my age that was moving real fast, getting it, making it happen. And if they had survived, they would have been recognized as OGs. But because they was moving and getting it, the motherfuckers got early. They got to them early. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is the court system would have tried them as adults, as you know, even though they were teens, for the type of shit they was getting into, trying to make it happen and make some money. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, the streets themselves, they don't discriminate on age, man. If you're a little badass kid, no matter if the motherfucker 8 years old, 12 years old, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You between the ages of 8 and 12, you should be going to the Beyblade meetup with us. Go do some Beyblade shit, man. Fuck all that street shit. Between the ages of 8 and 12, and you out in the streets, man. We had a little man. That's crazy. I remember walking in the street. We were like 17, 18, about a homie's house. It's when the chop shop used to be there. Little boy, man, used to be right there on the corner. He was like 8 or 9 years old, asking us, man, you need some work? All this shit. This dude just had his pockets filled with shit. Motherfucker was outside early, bro. What the fuck are you out here for? But it's like that sometimes. Dude was doing that. We used to see like young bitches selling pussy, all that weird shit. He was like, damn, that bitch, that it's in the third period, second period, she be selling pussy. That's crazy. And it's just like that sometimes. We had a bitch that she had all these weird emotional fits. Come to find out, she had been violated. So people just ran up in her house, did her dirty, and her family. They robbed the family, did her dirty. You know what I'm saying? Violated her probably, and she ain't been the same since. So she just been crashing out on everybody in the classrooms, etc. I was thinking she was tripping on me one time. I was like, yo, it's going too far, man. She getting a little handsy. I might have to sock this bitch. And then I think people started telling me the story. I was like, you know what, man, I give the bitch a praise because that's kind of crazy. Actually, that's kind of wild because the thing about dudes is like we'll play around and shit, but no one's getting seriously handsy unless it like really turns into a fight like that. It never really gets that serious. But women sometimes, man, y'all get real handsy. Like no one's gonna sock y'all, man. But it's like, bruh, y'all getting a little too handsy right now. We're trying to be respectful as young men and men in general. But again, this is what happens when you have the traumas in the neighborhood and shit. Could you imagine them bitch ass motherfuckers that ran up in her house, violating her and her family and all this weird shit? The motherfuckers is probably recognized within the streets. And it's like, that's some bullshit. People who sit there and violate women and, if you in the house, man, go do the robbery. Don't do no extra shit. You went in there for something. You went in there for the profit. But you going over here to rape a bitch or some weird shit? Fuck all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. So that's why when people say they're OGs, I can't, I wasn't there every step of the way to sit there and validate, oh, this person during this particular robbery or stint or whatever, he was a solid guy. He just was about the jewels, he was about the shoes, and he got out of there. Saying, yeah, he threatened you with the gun, but he didn't want to use it unless he had to. And when he had to, he didn't sit there and go aim for the fucking head or the chest. Motherfucker pop you in the leg and just push you over, bop, bop, take the shit. That's it. Get out of there. Pat you down, get that shit out. Get you out of there. None of this weird shit. None of this weird shit, like trying to do all this extra shit, trying to violate people, trying to degrade them. But again, that all stems from something. You got to remember that. As much as these fake ass OGs on some fake ass weird ass shit, you got to remember that somebody did some fake ass weird ass shit to them growing up. So they just want to return the favor to the next person because they can't get back at the OGs before them. This is what I'm talking about. People getting ruled by fear. People are ruled by fear. Because the thing is, you won't get your get back on the person who did that to you. I get it. There's a lot of grown men walking around here. They swole. They buff as hell. And they're scared to get that get back. They're strong as hell right now, but they're still scared to get that get back on somebody older than them. You see that all the time, man. You see some big ass kids. Some motherfuckers be bullies out there. Kids is bullies out there. But then they're scared of their mom. It's like that, man. Suge Knight was like that. Apparently, Suge Knight was like sitting there. He'll fight anybody. He'll bully anybody. He'll go head up with anybody. But when it came to his mom, just simply putting him in his place, he's like, oh, shit. All right, man. Hey, that's the love and respect for a mom, though. Most motherfuckers will not. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers ain't taking that chance, man. Because the thing is, if you attack your own mom, man, everybody gonna fuck you up. That's the other thing too. It's like we don't want to see that shit. We're like, oh, why you hitting your mom like that? I know she foul. I know she talk crazy, but damn, you know what I'm saying? I felt like hitting my mom. I don't think I ever did. I think when I was a little kid, I swung back my mom because my mom used to fuck me up. But obviously you get older, you ain't trying to hurt your mom. Yeah, nobody does that shit. Nobody does that shit bad. But no, we had a kid. Actually, we had a kid. It's kind of crazy. We had this kid, man. Nah, I can't even tell this story. I'll tell you like this, man. To my understanding, he went to juvie because he had, he fought back. I don't know. I'm assuming his mom used to be kind of a like real abusive to him in a certain way, and like I think he just was tired of having it, like mentally abusive, physically abusive to him, and he was already kind of like he was kind of a dainty kid, so the streets would recognize him as a dainty kid and fuck with him all the time. He ended up going to juvie, but see, I don't know if this is fucked up, man, because I don't know if he was violated before juvie or if he got violated in juvie, but he just ended up finally coming out as gay. He might have been gay the whole time, and he was just tired of people fucking with him. But he was on some street time. He was going head up with everybody. But it's like that sometimes, man. It's like that sometimes, man. I hope he's taking better self care of himself mentally because that shit is fucked up, man. That shit real fucked up. That he was that way. He was just going through all type of shit. A lot of people was fucking him. A lot of people weren't. That's one dude that really he beat up his mom. Apparently, he had it one day. We were like kids. We were like 13, 12 or something like that. And he just had it one day. Because I remember, we all used to hang out a certain time after school. All these kids that someone was running around. Rest in peace, my homie Quincy and some of these other kids that like they would visit from, you know, 30, 30 minutes, an hour away, just visiting other family members in the hood, and they would just be hanging out for a while. And yeah, that one kid, man, we didn't see him for a while. So damn, what happened to Whoopty Wow? What happened to him, bro? What happened to him, bro? There was like, ah, man, he's in juvie right now, man. He beat up his mom. I was like, what the fuck? Because that's one of the things you think about, but you never act on. Like, man, my mom is fucking abusive. You know what I'm saying? But again, it all stems from something. There's a reason why your mom is crazy like that. You start visiting other people's households, bro. You start visiting other people's households in different neighborhoods and like a little more fortunate situations. You're like, damn, these people got great relationships with their mom. Some people just got great relationships with their mom in general. Crazy. Hood sometimes ain't even like that. Hood sometimes ain't even like that. It's kind of fucked up, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Listen, man, we closing in on that 50. I'm sitting there rambling for a long enough time. Hopefully what I'm saying is makes sense, man. A lot of times old heads will sit there and talk about what they had back when they had it, etc. This is what I had. This was, back when I had it. You know what I mean? Constantly telling you who they were. But they can't tell you who they are now. You know what I'm saying? They have a value system of themselves based off who they were, but they don't have a value system of who they are right now. They couldn't tell you who they are right now. They're damn near ashamed of who they are right now. They're ashamed of who they think they're reduced to be right now. You know why? Because they never valued themselves in the first place without those actions that they were doing. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like they didn't like who they were. That's why they started taking those actions against the neighborhood, the community, people around them. They didn't give a damn. Some people didn't give a damn. They did what they had. They did what they had to do. Some people always talking about they did what they had to do. A lot of people won't admit that they was out there hustling, trying to get new shoes. A lot of people won't sit there and admit that they was doing what they had to do just to get fly or just to get a little money, just to start feeding themselves. I understand it. I get it. I empathize with it. But goddamn, let's be a little more honest about it. And that's the thing about it, bro. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Is like you got to really think about this shit. Be careful. And I'm just saying it on stuff that I'm used to, being around and hearing this shit. I don't want to hear that shit all day. Talking about what you used to be, what you used to do, all that shit. And it's just like, all right, you ain't doing it now. What's the value in it? Tell me what I should be doing. You know what I'm saying? I would always do that when back in the day, like when I was like 11 to 15, etc., 11 to 16, whatever. I'd be asking them people because I'd be hearing these stories. I sit there and listen all day. I listen. I'm like, hey man, so tell me, man, what do you think I should be doing right now? What should I be doing early? What should I be doing in the long run? And I will listen because an old head, an OG or whatever, the motherfuckers will tell you all the regrets. They'll tell you all the things they wish they had done. They'll start telling you that too. I try to flip the script on them sometimes, man, because that shit real upsetting when you start discovering who they really were. But check this out, man. I'm out of here, bro. We're gonna wrap that up in a second. Appreciate you guys dropping in. Hey, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.